Hello. All right, y'all. I had to get myself together. I'm feeling a lot better. Feeling a lot better since yesterday. That cold went straight through me, and I'm feeling 10 times better. Thank goodness. Let me put this over here. Hello. Hello. Hey, Shay. Come on in. Come on in. I'm trying to get myself safe together. All right. Let's talk about let's talk about get myself and put this stuff on D&D because folks will call out of the blue and you're like, really? All right. Okay. It's the weirdest thing. Okay. This is going to be a good conversation. If you're watching live, comment live. If you're watching the replay, comment replay. And I know that this is going to mess up some folks, but I don't care because you need to learn how to understand that you can't do what everybody else does, right? um you can't do what everybody else is doing. Okay, you're not supposed to do what everyone else is doing. um so we have to start thinking about how we're we're positioning ourselves as women, as people. If you're a man watching and tuning in, feel free to tune in. Because we really have to start thinking about this thing in a completely different way. Um, because we got to stop doing this. I saw the whole coffee dates conversation. I feel like it comes up at least once a year. Women will talk about it. I see it a lot, and it's a low vibe conversation, right? It's definitely, in my humble opinion, it's a low vibe conversation. Just considering the fact that when you're talking to women who are about their business, and you're talking to men that are supposedly about their business, coffee dates should not be a part of the conversation. Why is that? This is why I said sometimes y'all get into these conversations and get riled up by these conversations. And these conversations really don't have anything to do with you. These are low vibrational conversations. Okay. I literally just wrote, and I'm really got to make sure I'm positioning myself as a disclaimer. Okay, so I put some disclaimers in place because people will drive off of the topic and not understand where I'm coming from as a person. So my name is Coach J. If this is your first time watching, if you're coming on in, comment live. If you're watching live, just want to make sure the algorithm is picking everything up. Give me some hearts if you are watching. That would be great too. Because this is going to be free game. And I hope you got your notebooks and your pens because I'm really going to be dropping some information that's going to help you with further study. Because I always believe every live I have some kind of something that you need to take with you to consider. Because I remember one of my old clients said, and she said, Coach, you used to drop so many gems. You drop so many that I have to go get me a notebook because I need a Coach J notebook. So it always stayed with me. So first of all, I am a divorcee, and I'm saying this because People want to know all about your relationships and are you coming from bitterness and all this kind of stuff? No, first of all, I'm not bitter. I'm 42 years old. I'm a mother of one. Okay, been married, been there, done it, got the postcard, not only once but twice. So not only am I coming from a mature, seasoned woman's perspective, but I'm coming from a healthy perspective as far as from the outside looking in. However, okay, am I a fan of marriage? Yes, I am sad. Do I want to get married again? No. Okay, I have no interest in getting married again, but I support marriage if it is done right, decent, and in order and with honor. Okay, I will celebrate. I will come to the bridal shower. I will be at the reception. I will be electric sliding with the best of them. Okay, or the what is it called? The what's the line dance called, y'all? Where you not the electric slide, but I forget what was it called, the wobble. I'll do all of the things. Okay. But as long as there's honor involved, right? I want honor to be restored. Now, this is one of the biggest things about having and y'all, I don't see anybody giving me, is Shay the only one here? I see Unicorn Philosophy by Yami on Substack. Welcome. It's the first time I've seen that name. Who else is here? Y'all say something. Don't be shy. Don't be coming in. Look, and if you're sneaking and lurking and trying to figure out who is this, because you want to make sure I'm saying something that you agree with, that's okay. Say something in too. Y'all got to stop hiding behind these likes and stuff. Say something. Hey, Lindsay. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And you never know who on here that you could possibly work with. That's why I don't understand. Honey, I used to be, hey, because you never know. You never know who's on here that you could possibly work with or that may want to follow you. Y'all tripping. I ain't never, that's what I said. Do y'all want to be connected, build? Because entrepreneurs, you need to be building connections and relationships. I've never seen it before. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Thank you, Lindsay. She said, love your unique perspective on business. I'm here. What Sean said, hello, coach. I'm here just preparing my dinner, and I love it. Yeah, let me know what you're doing. Are you cooking dinner? Are you washing dishes? And know you got your earbuds in. So when I'm talking, right, when I'm talking to people, right, and I'm talking to women specifically because I work with women primarily. One of the things I always tell women is that, when you're talking about moving classes, because when you start a business, you're not starting a business in the direction of, I just want to make some extra money. Like I said, this is not about, hey, Quenisha, just finished cooking dinner. I love it. Oh, and I say that to say that you don't start a business to make extra money and to not work for people. You start a business to jump classes, which means that the who you are right now is not the who you're going or you're becoming to be, right? You're becoming someone else because the woman or the person that operated in the middle class, lower working class, poverty, or whatever has to align themselves with abundance and with a wealthier nature, a consciousness of wealth, right? So the way that a lot of people do things is not going to be the same way that you do things. And that's why I don't understand why some of y'all get caught up in these types of conversations and these low vibrational, low standards that I'm seeing out here when we're talking about honor. Wealth is associated with generational legacies, right? I mean, you correct me. Let me know if I'm off. I mean, I thought that's what the whole thing was about. You're most of y'all are the first ones in your family to break a lot of these chains. And that comes with a heavy load. And we're talking about preservation, right? Or no? Is that not a thing? Are we just mad all the time? Y'all tell me what we doing. I don't know what's on the up and up because I thought when you start a business, the focus is to build a legacy. The focus is to build something that your children and your children's children, if it applies, can eat off of. And I don't care what's going on in the world right now, because everything that you built and building, it was an eternal promise. So it don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's this is an ongoing thing. And feel free to share this broadcast. So what does this coffee date thing have to do with anything, coach? Like, what is, because I don't think there's anything wrong with coffee date. You tell me. Okay. Now let's all stand back together and look at this thing for what it really is from a bird's eye view. When we think of dating, courtship, and y'all women, y'all, a lot of y'all that's been riding with me for years, you already kind of know how I feel about this stuff. Okay, you already know how I feel about this stuff. If you are talking about doing something like this, you are going to have to start thinking about honor and legacy. You can't marry the same way. You can't date the same way. You can't like, even to the point where your children are already like spoken for. Amen, somebody. Again, you're talking to somebody. I'm 42. I already know I'm a matriarchal figure in my family. I know that. I know this because I have a tolerance for understanding how to build a business brick by brick. You understand? So I had to go through certain levels of rites of passage from a spiritual standpoint, including marrying, divorce, right? That were dishonorable, right? I had to go through some dating turmoils to understand self and to understand that the load, quote unquote, the load that I carry or the assignment that I carry in so many ways disqualified a lot of the men that I was trying to bring along the journey when that was my responsibility. So even the way that I dated had to severely and radically change. So I couldn't just talk to me and just like on Facebook dating or, casual, just no, it was the type of dating is really, you have to elevate to courtship. Y'all should know this. I talked about this before. Courtship is the way to an honorable relationship. Like even now, like as a woman who is building a business, who has built a business, 7 figures, just about, we're almost at 7 figures, is I already know who my daughter is possibly going to be with. I already know the character of the man that my daughter is going to marry. You understand what I'm saying? Like there is, like, if women, like, you're building a business and you're not playing around with that, you should already have some idea of who your children are going to be with, because your children are supposed to be heirs, correct? Are we? Y'all tell me. Well, coach, it's no, 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 because this is about preservation. I mean, somebody help me to understand. What man of honor, what person of honor is going to a coffee date? You know how crazy it is? What? And talking about, I want to get to know you. Mm-mm. At this point, you should know who I am. This is why I say a man should already know. A person that is interested in you should already have some level of understanding of who you are and what you do. And look, see you in your work already. That's why I told women, like, y'all need to chill out on these apps and on these Bumbles and on all these different. Well, I met my husband on AOL. And y'all are, and look how you're like, okay, the way you and your like y'all are okay. I don't want my man working for another man. A lot of women get pressed when I say that, but I really don't care because I'm an owner. A man that works for another man is not going to understand me unless he understands rank order and he understands wealth and he has real estate or he's building something on the side in addition to a high value contract or something that he's working. That sounds very vain. When we're talking about wealth, we're not talking about middle class relationships. We're not talking about everybody pulling together and paying half of the mortgage and half of the light bill and well, we don't do that here. You're in the wrong conversation. I'm talking to women who are building wealth. I'm talking to people who are building wealth. You have a different conversation than people in the working class, lower class levels. Do y'all not hear what I'm saying? You have to preserve your lineage and bloodline. Do you know how this works? Why are you not learning etiquette and protocol? What man is going to take you to a $5, $6, $7, $8, $9 frappuccino and talking about getting to know you? You should already have this information, sir. You should know what's the name of my company. And not only should you know all this information, you should be understanding that whatever you're bringing to me, what is the intent? Because honor is think about this whole dynamic, right? We're talking about the dynamic of marriage. Let's stand back and look at the institution because it's the patriarchy. That's why I said y'all gotta calm down. Because the loins is too on fire right now. It really is. You need to be transmuting all this energy into your creativity because some of y'all are hot and bothered and, all that just building up. You need to start thinking about what you're saying. Please think about what you're saying. If we're talking about the patriarchy, we're talking about the man's honor. And if there are men watching this, I need you to calm down too because some men be ready to fight about this stuff. And men that want to fight about this stuff, you don't know half of what you're talking about either. Let me tell. Sorry about that, y'all. That sound. It's really about the honor of the man. Okay, when we're talking about patriarchy and marriage, the last name is the honor. She said they need to rose color today. I know that's right. This is about the man's last name, right? Okay. So this is why I said when men say things like, it don't matter if she got a degree or not. It doesn't matter if how much money. Actually, in the wealthy conversations, it absolutely does matter. Jeff Bezos, the man that everybody loves to hate. This man married a woman not too long ago. They had a long courtship. They courted for a couple of years. But this woman had a company. She was very successful in her life. She had degrees. She was also divorcee, and she also had children from previous relationships. But she was coached. Amen, somebody. Lauren Sanchez, absolutely. She was coached. A lot of people think that they just happened to, they just met up and they became friends and now they want to get married. No. Because that man had a level of wealth and she had a level of wealth. She had to learn how to poise herself because she was always in a space of domination. This is why I tell women, like, you gotta get coached at every level in your life because you don't know. You don't know how to operate in the patriarchy at this nature. If I ever was to tell myself to say, Jay, maybe you do need to get married again. I better not choose my own husband. I better not go into another relationship. I'm going to get coached. I already have one courtship coach that I already mapped out. And in fact, Maddie is going to be coached by her. When she gets 18, if she said, Mommy, I'm ready, even if it's to learn, not to get married so fast, but she's going to be coached. I'm going to see to it. There is a young man that's already courting her. Very respectful. Know his mama, come from a great home. I have to look at all these things. Look, as parents, listen to how some of y'all be sounding. You got to have your children's future already kind of packed up and ready to go. Because why? Emotions. Well, I don't want to control my children. I didn't say control them. But many times it is about allowing them to see possibilities and preservation. That's another thing too. Are you raising your children up to preserve? Or are you raising them to be just all over the place? Because if the mamas ain't catching on, then the children ain't gonna catch on either. Amen, somebody. So why is a coffee date important? So, you got to think about, are you a woman of wealth, or are you a woman of just, let's just see what happens? I know this offends people. One of the women in my community I just saw on Facebook, she was like, Coach, I like coffee. I didn't say you didn't have to like coffee. There's nothing wrong with liking coffee. But you're talking about legacy. Do y'all not hear what I just said? Fallon, you better preach on here. She said the last coffee date I went in, he paid me his hourly rate for my time, $300. I don't see anything wrong with that. If I'm going on a coffee, anything, it's not even a date. It's a conversation. It's a consultation. It's a business conversation. There is no kind of, I can't take a man seriously about love if we're going on a coffee date. I've never been on a coffee date before. And if a man took me on a coffee date, I wouldn't have known what it was, because I'm going with the intent of business. Even men that I have dated or have courted me in the past, they would pay me if they're saying, I want to spend time with you. I told y'all what that my ex did. He looked at me and saw me internally screaming. He said, I'm going to pay you for your time. Thank you. Because I'm an entrepreneur. Period. That's right. It's only, and see, this is the kind of stuff that you have to be aware of. Because see, there are some men that are not honorable of your time as a woman, especially when you're running a company. So if a man is trying to take you out, he needs to be compensating you for your time, especially if you have children. Because men want what? They want your time and attention. And if you got stuff to do, guess what? You're going to have to spend that time away from money. I mean, yes, you can have your automations and all these kind of things, but if you have consults or sessions and all these kind of things that you're doing and doing PR and marketing and all that kind of stuff, you got stuff to do. And everybody don't have their stuff all prim and prime and shiny and proper. You've got to be compensated for that. That's not gold digging. That's protocol and order. Amen, somebody. This ain't got nothing to do with gold digging. If gold digging is a part of the conversation, you're dealing with someone who is in poverty or has a poverty limited mindset. That isn't, when you're talking about honor and protocol. Let me go back to that. Let me do this real quick because y'all about to make me upset. Let me pull this up because I just Woo, my goodness. Because you got to understand what courtship is all about. And I feel like nobody has really taught a lot of y'all, right? That has to be an intentional there has to be an intentional sequence. Amen, somebody. This is an intentional sequence. Mm-hmm. And as a coach, as a coach, my job is to help women with one of the first phases of building wealth. And building wealth first starts with a mind for business. Everybody don't get there, everybody don't make it, but that's one of the first stops, is helping women create a mind for business. This is not about your favorite coffee beverage. It's about protocol and order. So let's go back to this. So when we're talking about foundation before extension, so the traditions, right? The religious, the culture, and the financial planning of marriage emphasizes that a man should establish, listen to what I just said, should establish. So he should not be in an apartment. He should not be in an apartment. I don't care what you say about that. Or he got his own place. Is it an apartment or is it a house? Does he have more than one? Does he have foundation? What is going on? Then I'm gonna look at you crazy because you should know this information, right? Okay. So before entering marriage, this is about demonstrating that he can provide shelter, direction, and discipline structure for the feminine. It's about stewardship. YouTube, you quiet, and that bothers me. Nobody want to talk about that. Men, if you're listening, God bless you. Because you should have a foundation. It ain't about love. It's about foundation and honor and protocol to your name. If you don't have anybody that you're with, you need to have understanding of your namesake. You're it then. Let me say this again. It's about namesake. You should be trying to learn everything there is to learn about protocol and order. Courtship protocol is respect. It's not about somebody being controlling. No, it's called protocol. Courtship has always had rules. Meeting the family, showing commitment, honesty, consistency, not wasting your time. It's some level of etiquette that belongs in that. Do y'all understand? That's all I'm trying to tell you. See, people leave conversations when they're not emotionally mature to hear, because you want to hear just, girl, I wish I would get, I would, no. We're not ghettoizing this. And I say that with love. We're not ghettoizing this. Protocol is about seriousness. It's about, again, honor. Wealth, in the wealth trajectory. If you're going that way, protocol looks a lot like planning, showing and demonstrating how you prioritize that person. So if a man is saying, or whoever you with is saying that they want to be with you, how are they prioritizing the relationship? How are they prioritizing you in the conversation in their life? This is why you don't have time to play with people. Y'all got to listen. I told you, women do not like to listen. Women do not listen. And that offends, because you bump your head 3,000 times because you think you know everything. And then you got women like me that I try to tell you, and they always come back to me and say, "Coach, you're right, you're right, you're right." And I would tell women, just hold on, baby. I want you to be in love. Get your ends together so you can get into spaces and in territories where you may bump into him. But you can't bump into him if you're struggling. You're bumping it. You're at the wrong frequency. Get your frequency up. Get your vibration up before you just get off of these pieces that or these apps and these places that are meaning you no good. Just because he paid a light bill does not mean that's courting. Courtship is prioritization, planning. Y'all, getting your nails done is not, that's, I don't care about that. That's easy. That's easy peasy. Putting you on his life insurance, that's the completely different conversation. Him showing you his bank statements and his records and his financial statements to make sure that you know how he rolling, and you know how things, even his does he have a clean bill of health? I told y'all these STDs and STIs are running rapid in the South. Rampant. They humping out of control like rabbits in these places. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? Do y'all understand what I just said? My goodness. Are y'all not understanding this? What the heck? Wake up. You have to have a different conversation other than, girl, he asked me about my ex and we were just talking, and he was saying he tried his best to, him and his ex got into it. Girl, please get up from the table and leave. How his baby mama don't do this and she don't let me see my kids. Get up and leave. I don't care how nice he is and how nice he was dressed and how his shoes look. Any man that does not do right by his children, and I don't care, and I don't want to hear your mouth. Any man that does not do well or have honor in taking care of his children, and I'm even going to go as far as to say this, and some of y'all don't get pissed at me, and I really don't care, but I'm going to tell you this. A man with honor is going to take care not only his children, but the mother of his children. Make sure the mother of his children don't want for anything. I'm not saying that he got to buy her house, but he has to have honor and respect that woman does not have to want for anything because she is taking care of his children, even if they're not together. I know men right now that are not with their children's mother, but they will go and buy them a house if they need it and put it in her name and say that's her house because she has my children. Because he's making that much money, he's making sure that his children, and I don't want it either. They will let you know you can see everything. Transparency, honesty. She has a deed to the house that I gave to her. It's in her name. The deed is in her name because I bought a house because she has my children. That right there should pique your ears up. I'm not saying to get with a man like that, but I'm just saying you need to understand how this man deals with his children and how he deals with the women in his life that have his children. The mother or mothers, hopefully ain't no S on the end, but mother of his children. Because anything more than that, that's just too much for me. One is enough. Because now I got to look at your buck out if you got more than one. Because what the heck? Where's your discipline, sir? Because then I have to question your integrity. If he is on court ordered child support and he's being drugged to court and he ain't coming to see his kids and all this other stuff and children ain't seen him and forever you don't talk to your kids, I got to look at you upside your head. Because a woman will think that she is an exception. Amen, somebody. And this ain't coming from bitterness. Because, I don't care. I told you I don't co-parent. I don't do that. That's out. Are you insane? Mm-mm. Don't do that. I don't give a man honor that forfeited his position. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Mm-mm. We don't communicate. We don't have communicate about what? She has a phone. Mm-mm. A man that forfeits his position forfeits everything, even access. And I don't care what the court say. I'm on that tip. Let me tell you, honey, I know how to. Don't play. It's honor and protocol over here. If you don't do right by the mother of your children, nothing that you put your hands on will ever go right. And I said what I said, and I don't take it back. You got to learn how to understand honor, order, and protocol. Don't you dare ever in your life call the father of your children and say, when you gonna come and see him? Don't ever do that. You're not his mother. He knows he has children. But what you have to do, mother, is that you have to step your game up. I understand that you are the matriarchal order in your family, and you're going to have to establish structure and order. When people come into your house, they know that there's rank and order in that house. You understand? Hello, somebody. I mean, these are not jokes. I mean, we got to be serious. We got to get to a place where we get serious about our future and our destiny. Do you understand? That I don't indulge in conversations and, girl, I'm gonna do his baby hair, girl, and the baby mama, girl, the ex, she just always shut your mouth because you don't know the whole story. Sometimes y'all need to go and have conversations with the ex and get her experience. Do you know how many women would be saved if they would just go and talk to the ex? I don't want nobody talking to me. But I'm just saying, sometimes you need to, especially if you're a woman. Well, do you know how many women will go and actually have conversations with the ex-wife and say, can we have lunch? See, you ain't ready for that kind of conversation. You're not ready for that. Oh baby, oh baby, you ain't ready for that. Some of y'all ain't even at that level of maturity to even understand what that level even look like. When you're dealing with a man that has means and wealth, sitting down with that ex-wife and say, can we have lunch? Because she's gonna tell you what's the real. There you go, Fallon. She said that's the coffee that they need to have. That's the coffee date. That's the one you need to be having. Baby, not coffee. That needs to be tea. You need to go have tea. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Too grown to be having some coffee, baby. Let's go have tea. Because see, coffee is get you riled up, and caffeine, because she say something is off. You ready to your blood pressure went up. Mm-mm. You need tea. You need something calming. You don't need no green tea. You need something that's calming. Hot tea. Hello, somebody with a fascinator. Come on, somebody. Talk grown woman to me. And you better sit there unbiased, neutral. Because see, we talking business. You talking about signing over your life to somebody. Let's see what the one that had the position the last time. I'm not talking about no baby mama. I'm talking about the wife, ex-wife. Sit down with that woman and have a conversation and shut your mouth and listen to her. What happened? And you could tell by the maturity if that woman is telling the truth or not. You could tell if she's still into the conversation, if she's still into him, if she's still mad about things. But if she's talking calmly and say, you know what? I've wanted him to find love. I wanted him to experience that and da 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 da. And he's a great father to his children. He's very active, comes to the school, pays their tuition. I'm very grateful for that. I mean, we have a healthy co-parenting relationship. I moved on, he's moved on. That's what kind of stuff you look for. Why is that? Why do you look for things like this? Because you're looking for honor. A man without honor is not worthy of your body and your future. He's not worthy of those things. She said, but if they can't vet good men, then they probably can't qualify good leads either. That's what I said. It all goes hand in hand. It all goes hand in hand because men will tell on themselves. When men search, and let me tell you, this is why I say coffee dates are lazy. And women, got low key like bothered that I said that. The reason why I said this is because it's not about getting there and saying, let's get to know each other. A man knows what he wants. A man of honor knows what he wants. A man that has maturity knows what he wants. You don't have to look for that. A man just naturally takes over. He knows how to bring a certain level of relief and peace to a conversation to where that you don't feel like, okay, this man he really is impressing me the way he's coming. If that is the case, let that man talk. But see, what happens is that you have one or two conversations over chat, over text, never talking to this person, never seeing them on a FaceTime, never giving you understanding of and then I want to see you and let's have coffee. I have one conversation. Okay. Just desperate. Okay. Silly. So you done went to, then he don't show up. Then you looking back at. Girl, he didn't even show up. Of course he did. I wouldn't have either. He was so mean to me. I'm certain he was. I would have been mean to you too. Because why you go up there? And see, I always tell women, like, just stop. Stop. That is so silly to me. And see, when I say that, people get like, oh, but coach, everybody, did you not hear anything I said silly? See, this is why I gotta start calling you silly and silliness and foolish. Because you don't get it. You think it's preschool and daycare. And this is why why relationships are in the toilet. Because if you are doing your life like this, your body like this, your name like this, I'm preaching now. If you're doing all of these things and you're playing with your future, then I can only tell that the way you do your business. This is why sometimes you don't trust yourself with anything else because you're so focused on trying to get somebody to take care of you. Learn how to take care of yourself and trust yourself because you don't know enough. When you're talking about a legacy, when you're talking about values, when you're talking about honor, that is a completely different conversation that a lot of y'all are not ready for because you can't even get organized and post content like you're supposed to without getting in your feelings. And I'm going to tell you this, men, if you're watching, get yourself together. The reason why you don't trust yourself and you don't trust women is because you don't even know what you want. You're not even using your God-given discernment because you're supposed to see your woman. You're supposed to know who don't you know men know who their wife is when as soon as they see her? Well, I thought I loved that and she just no, because you were led by your loins. You weren't led by your legacy. And I say that with love. I thank God I have no son because it would have been boot camp over here. You kidding me? You're going to be a man of honor and you're going to speak over your family. You're going to speak over protection over your children and your children's children and your children's children's children because that's 450 years that you're speaking life over. This ain't playhouse. This ain't playtime. That's why I said when I coach men, I'm harder on them than I am on women. Women, y'all got to get it together too. But see, you got the children. And that's why I tell women, don't go out here and be dating and in everybody's face, especially when you have littles. Sit your tail down somewhere, take a cold shower, and be about your father's business, which is your business. When your children get of age and they understand how to govern themselves, then you can start dibbling dabbling. But you need to start dibbling dabbling in relationships that bring honor and that actually brings value to your life. Learn how to do that first. Learn how to communicate with people and stop going over here to romance, because you're going to attract the wrong frequency. Everybody quiet. This is why you don't trust anybody. Trust yourself. Work on that. Because if you could trust yourself, you'll get to know what you like. You'll know what you don't like. The way you treat yourself and the way that you fill yourself up, then you are able to understand, okay, so this is what I'm adding to my life. Because see, you'll continue to have the same narrative. This is why men talk about women all the time and how women doing them. And I'm tired of women doing like me like this. And I'm tired of women doing me like that. Well, get your game up then. Stop meaning the wrong, because see, you in the wrong realm anyway. You're in the realm where women just want to get their nails and feet done.